If you love someone with an addiction, there's a question that has probably kept you awake at night. Am I helping or am I enabling? It's painful because it doesn't feel like a simple decision. It feels personal, loaded, like there's a right answer that you should already know. I'm 𝗵𝗲𝗹𝗶𝗴𝗴, and I created Why Won't They Stop to support women who love someone with an addiction. Women who are exhausted from trying to keep everything together and trying not to lose themselves in the process. Today I want to look at this question with more clarity and more honesty, because it matters. And the way it usually gets talked about is way too simplistic, and that's why this question hurts. Enabling gets thrown around as if the line is obvious, as though you should just know the difference between helping and enabling. But when you're actually living inside the situation, it's rarely that clear. You might be trying to keep the household functioning, protect your kids and keep a roof over everyone's head, and prevent the next explosion or crisis. So when someone says you're enabling them, it lands like you're the problem. You're making it worse, and if you really loved them, you'd stop. And that's not helpful, because most women in this situation are desperately trying to do the right thing, and they're scared. So maybe the real question isn't just, am I helping or enabling? Maybe the deeper question is, how do I care without disappearing? The advice that doesn't help, you've probably heard things like, just stop helping, let them hit rock bottom, detach with love, or set boundaries. Yeah, look, they might be good strategies and truth inside some of those, but the truth without nuance is just brutal and not very helpful. So it's easy to say, just stop helping, when you're not the one sharing a home, sharing finances, sharing children, or lying awake wondering what will happen if you step back. You help and you feel guilty. You don't help and you feel terrified. And that's not because you're doing it wrong, it's because the situation is really complicated and you deserve better than slogans. So a more useful definition might be helping supports long-term responsibility, and enabling protects someone from the natural consequences of their behaviour at the cost of your well-being. So notice what that doesn't say. It doesn't say that helping is bad. It doesn't say that consequences need to be harsh. And it doesn't say that you're responsible for their recovery. Instead, it asks a quieter question. Who is carrying the weight of this choice? Them or you? Because sometimes what looks like love is actually you carrying the consequences that were never yours to carry. Making excuses, fixing messes, absorbing stress, rearranging your life so they don't have to face the full impact of theirs. And often you do it because you're frightened of what happens if you don't. And that's the part that people miss. And that's how it becomes self-abandonment. So most people don't decide to enable. It's a slide, and a slow one at that. First you help because there's a crisis. And then you help because there's another crisis. And then you help because you can see one coming, and then you're bracing before it even arrives. And before long, you're managing everything. The mood in the house, what other people know, the money, the explanations, and your own disappointment. So no one else has to feel uncomfortable. And slowly, that turns into self-abandonment. You become hypervigilant, resentful, and burnt out, and you lose touch with what you actually want or need. So that's usually when this question surfaces. And the better question, maybe instead of asking, am I helping or enabling, try asking, is what I'm doing sustainable for me? And that question removes the moral judgment. It stops making this about whether you're a good partner, a good mother, or a good enough person. And it brings you back to reality. Can you keep doing this? And what's it costing you? Because you're part of the equation too. And you don't have to become cold, and you don't have to stop caring, but you can stop carrying more than your fair share. So here's something practical. Take one situation where you're unsure, not the whole relationship, just one thing, and work through these 4 questions. So the first one, what are you actually doing? Just name it clearly. Are you paying for something? Are you covering something? Explaining something? And the second question is, what are you hoping it achieves? Are you hoping to keep the peace, prevent a crisis, or do you want them just to know that you care? And the third, who's carrying the consequence? Are you helping them move towards responsibility, or are you absorbing the impact so they don't have to? And the fourth and final question to ask yourself is it sustainable? Not theoretically, honestly, can you keep doing this without becoming bitter or lost? And there's no grading system, so there's no right or wrong answer. So just answer honestly, because that's where your own clarity starts. So if you've been asking, am I helping or enabling? The fact that you just asked that question means that you actually really want to get this right, that you really care, and that matters. And if this resonated, I have a free training called The List. It helps you start separating what's yours to carry from what was never yours to control. And I'll put the link in the description below. And if this kind of conversation is useful, please subscribe. And if it helped, liking this video will help it reach other women who might need to hear it too. So I'm Megan, and take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.